Why is it that two people can face the same storm, one crumbles under pressure, while the other stands unshaken, calm, and unbreakable? It's not luck, it's not circumstances, it's discipline of the mind. Most people live as prisoners of stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. They wake up already defeated, pulled into fear, doubt, and frustration before the day even begins. But a rare few, they rise above it. They stay calm in chaos. They stay positive when everything screams negativity. And because of that, they win where others quit. Napoleon Hill taught us a timeless truth. Calmness is power. Positivity is wealth. And both are choices you make in your own mind. This message is not about avoiding life's storms. It's about discovering the unshakable calm within you and training your mind to stay positive no matter what comes your way. If you're tired of letting circumstances control you, if you're ready to master yourself and unlock a life of clarity, strength, and peace, then this journey begins right now. There's a dangerous illusion that silently destroys inner peace, the belief that we can control everything. Most people live trapped in this delusion. They waste endless hours trying to bend circumstances, manipulate people, and obsess over outcomes they cannot influence. And what do they get in return? Stress, frustration, a life dominated by anxiety instead of calmness. But here's the truth Napoleon Hill would have. You remember, the only control you truly have is over yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your responses. Think about this carefully. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control how others treat you. You cannot control the weather, the traffic, or the unforeseen disruptions that life will inevitably deliver, but you can control how you think about them. You can control the meaning you assign to them. You can control whether you allow them to break your spirit or sharpen it. This is the paradox of control. The less you try to control what is uncontrollable, the more powerful and calm you become. The circle of power. Imagine a piece of paper. On it, draw two circles, one inside the other. The inner circle is your circle of control. The outer circle is your circle of concern. Inside the circle, your thoughts, your choices, your habits, your discipline, your focus, your words, your reactions. Outside the circle, other people's opinions, the past, global events, random outcomes, and everything else you cannot directly influence. Most people live in the wrong circle. They spend their energy worrying about things outside their control, what their boss thinks, what the news says, what a neighbor gossips about, what might go wrong next month. This obsession with the outer circle drains their inner circle until they're left powerless. The wise, however, reverse the equation. They invest fully in their inner circle. They ask, what can I control today? How can I strengthen my mind? What actions align with my chief aim? And then they release the rest. This simple shift transforms life from chaos into calm. Why? Because energy is no longer wasted on battles you cannot win. Instead, it's channeled toward victories that matter. Standing in the eye of the storm, picture a hurricane. Around its edges, winds are at unimaginable speeds, tearing apart everything in sight. But at the center, the eye, there is complete stillness, calm, silence. Life will always have storms, financial struggles, health setbacks, relationship disappointments, unexpected chaos. Most people live on the edge of the storm, constantly pulled by fear and panic, but you have a choice. You can step into the eye. You can train yourself to remain calm, even when the winds howl around you. That doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you stop fighting against what you cannot change. You learn to detach from the chaos and direct your focus inward where true power lies. Real life example, the traffic jam. Lesson, imagine. Two drivers stuck in the same traffic jam. One bangs the steering wheel, curses at the cars, and spends the next hour in frustration. The other turns on an audiobook, breathes deeply, and uses the time to learn or reflect. Both face the same circumstance, but one chooses misery. The other chooses mastery. This is not about traffic, it's about life. Every situation presents the same choice. Waste energy on what you can't control, or redirect that energy toward growth. Mental training, the control audit. To master calmness, you must train your mind daily. Here's a practice that will change how you handle stress. 1, write down your biggest worry right now. Maybe it's money, your health, or someone else's behavior. 2, divide it into 2 columns. Column A, things I can control. Column B, things I cannot control. 3, act only on column A. Focus relentlessly on what you can influence: your effort, your attitude, your daily habits. 4, release column B. Accept it. Let it go. Every time your mind drifts back, remind yourself, that is outside my circle. I will not waste my power there. This one exercise, done consistently, can free you from the chains of unnecessary stress and unlock clarity you've never known before. The secret of true freedom. People think freedom means doing whatever you want. But real freedom is the ability to control yourself, your focus, your reactions, your mental state, no matter what happens. Napoleon Hill wrote that a man who cannot control himself can never control his destiny. And that is the essence of calmness. When you master your inner world, you stop being a victim of the outer world. You cannot control if the storm comes, but you can control whether you stand or collapse. You cannot control if people doubt you, but you can control whether you believe in yourself. You cannot control the length of the night, but you can control whether you let it defeat your spirit or use it to prepare for the dawn. From resistance to growth. Here's a principle worth engraving into your mind. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance creates power. Every time you resist what you cannot change, you suffer twice: once from the event itself, and again from your reaction to it. But when you accept reality and focus on what you can do, suffering transforms into growth. The storm doesn't crush you. It strengthens you. The challenge doesn't break you. It builds you. The takeaway: calmness begins not when life gets easier, but when you get wiser. When you finally stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead master the controllable: your thoughts, your choices, your energy. Every day, remind yourself, I control my focus. I control my words. I control my actions. The rest I release. That is how you step into the eye of the storm. That is how you transform chaos into calmness, negativity into positivity, and weakness into unshakable strength. Gratitude is often misunderstood. People think it's about saying thank you when life is easy, or writing down blessings when things are going well. But true gratitude, the kind that transforms your life, is not about being thankful for the sunshine. It's about finding gold in the shadows. Napoleon Hill believed that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. That means even in your darkest moments, there is something to extract, something to learn, something that can elevate you if you have the eyes to see it. Gratitude is that vision, the hidden value of hardship. Most people look at difficulties and see only pain. They say, "Why me? This isn't fair." And in doing so, they blind themselves to the hidden gift within the struggle. Think about rejection. It stings. It bruises the ego. But how many times has rejection redirected you to something better? How many times has failure revealed strengths you didn't know you had? The tragedy is that most people never realize this because they never search for the gold hidden inside the dirt. Gratitude changes that. It forces you to ask, what is this teaching me? How is this shaping me? What can I gain from what I have lost? This is not delusion. It is mastery of perspective. It is the choice to believe that life is not happening to you, but for you. A real-life example, the missed Job. Imagine someone who desperately wants a promotion. They work hard, apply, and wait with hope only to be rejected. Anger rises. Disappointment takes over. Most people would let bitterness poison their mindset. But the person who understands the gratitude twist sees differently. They realize, this setback frees me to explore new opportunities. It builds resilience. It humbles me so I can grow. Months later, they find a role that fits them perfectly, one they would never have considered without that rejection. The rejection wasn't a curse. It was a correction. Gratitude allowed them to see the hidden blessing, training your brain with gratitude. Your mind is like a lens. If you train it to focus only on problems, it will find problems everywhere. But if you train it to focus on blessings, even in hardship, it will uncover strength, wisdom, an opportunity where others see only despair. Here's a powerful exercise. 1, start a gratitude journal, but with a twist. Don't just write the easy blessings like family, health, sunshine. Instead, challenge yourself to write down one difficulty and the lesson hidden within it. Instead of "I'm grateful for my health," write, "I'm grateful for the tough workout that revealed my strength." Instead of "I'm grateful for my job," write, "I'm grateful for the difficult project that taught me patience." 2, gratitude for the shadows. Each night, ask yourself, what went wrong today? And what did it give me? Maybe traffic made you late, but it gave you time to think. Maybe someone criticized you, but it taught you humility. This practice rewires your brain over time. It conditions you to search for the seed of benefit in every challenge, and once your brain learns to search, it always finds. Gratitude as a growth multiplier. Gratitude is not passive. It's not pretending pain doesn't exist. It is a weapon, a tool, a force that turns setbacks into stepping stones. When you practice gratitude, stress transforms into clarity. Anger transforms into understanding. Loss transforms into wisdom. It's like alchemy. Gratitude takes the raw metal of hardship and forges it into the gold of growth. Hill's philosophy is clear. If you cannot be grateful for the lesson inside your losses, you will keep repeating the same failures. But if you learn to thank life for its corrections, you rise higher after every fall. The power of perspective. Consider this: 2 people face the same challenge. One curses it, resists it, and stays bitter. The other thanks it, learns from it, and grows stronger. The difference is not the challenge, it's the perspective. Gratitude is perspective in action. It doesn't erase the storm, it shows you the rainbow hidden behind the clouds. The wealth connection. Here's the truth. Few realize gratitude attracts abundance. Why? Because your focus shapes your reality. If you constantly dwell on what's missing, you train your mind to see lack, and lack will multiply. If you focus on blessings, you train your mind to see opportunities, and opportunities will multiply. This is why wealthy, successful people often talk about gratitude practices. It's not a cliche. It's a mindset that magnetizes success. Gratitude conditions your brain to spot potential, where others only see problems, and that ability is priceless. The challenge for you for the next 7 days: practice the gratitude twist. Each night, write down one blessing from your day, 2, one difficulty, 3, one hidden gift inside that difficulty. Watch how your thinking changes. Watch how your emotions stabilize. Watch how negativity loses its grip. The takeaway: gratitude is not about ignoring your pain, it's about transforming it. It's about saying, this challenge may hurt, but it's here to serve me, and I will find the gold it carries. When you practice this daily, calmness stops being temporary. Positivity stops being fragile. They become your natural state because you have trained your mind to see life not as a curse, but as a constant gift. Napoleon Hill's wisdom echoes here. Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Gratitude is how you water that seed until it grows into strength, resilience, and wealth of spirit. Life will test your emotions: anger, fear, anxiety, frustration. These waves will crash against you again and again. Most people drown in them because they never learn the art of emotional resetting. They let their emotions hijack their decisions, poison their words, and ruin opportunities. But Napoleon Hill would remind us of this truth: your emotions are servants, not masters. If you cannot command them, they will command you. Calmness is not pretending you don't feel. Calmness is the ability to reset your emotions before they ruin your future. When the mind is fogged, imagine your mind as a clear mirror. When emotions hit hard, it's like fog clouding the glass. You cannot see clearly. Every thought becomes distorted. Every decision becomes reactive instead of deliberate. If you speak in this state, you regret your words. If you act in this state, you regret your choices. This is why people destroy relationships in a moment of anger or quit their dreams in a season of fear. The art of emotional resetting is the ability to clear the fog before it controls you. Step 1, name it to tame it. Science confirms what Hill taught decades ago. Clarity begins with awareness. When emotions overwhelm you, the first step is to pause and name them. Say to yourself, I feel anxious right now. I feel frustrated about this setback. I feel afraid of this risk. This simple act moves your brain from reaction to recognition. It weakens the emotion's grip because now it is identified, not hidden. You cannot control what you refuse to acknowledge. Naming your emotion is the first act of mastery. Step 2, reset through the body. Your emotions are not only in your mind, they live in your body. That's why your chest tightens when anxious. Your face heats up when angry. Your stomach knots when fearful. To reset your emotions, you must reset your body. Step away. Change your environment. Even briefly. Go outside. Move rooms. Disrupt the pattern. Splash cold water. Shock the nervous system, and it resets. Breathe deeply. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale 4 seconds. Hold 7 seconds. Exhale 8 seconds. Within minutes, your heartbeat slows, your body calms, and your mind follows. Move, stretch, do push-ups, or take a brisk walk. Physical activity burns off the intensity of emotion and brings clarity back faster than sitting still. The moment you change your physical state, your emotional state begins to shift. Step 3, create a reset ritual. Emotional resetting is most powerful when you have a ritual ready before the storm arrives. Don't wait until you're drowning in frustration to figure out how to calm down. Build a personal reset ritual. It might be a playlist of songs that instantly lift your spirit, a journal where you unload thoughts without judgment, a calming scent like lavender or sandalwood to trigger relaxation, a short prayer or affirmation like I remain calm, I remain in control. The key is consistency. The brain learns through association. If you use the same ritual repeatedly, your mind will automatically begin to calm each time you engage it. Example, the executive who never reacted. Consider a business leader who, in moments of crisis, never raised his voice. Employees would panic. Competitors would attack. Markets would crash. And yet he remained composed. Why? Because he trained himself to reset before reacting. He had a ritual pause, breathe, and ask himself, what response brings me closer to my vision? This is not weakness. This is power. To remain calm in chaos is to project authority. People trust the one who doesn't lose themselves under pressure. And success always gravitates toward trust. The formula of emotional mastery, Napoleon Hill warned that uncontrolled emotions are the enemies of success. Fear paralyzes. Anger blinds. Worry poisons. But controlled emotions, channeled correctly, become fuel. Here's the formula. 1, awareness. Name it. 2, interruption. Change your physical state. 3, reset ritual anchor. Calmness. 4, choice. Respond. Don't react. Repeat this often enough, and calmness becomes automatic. Why resetting matters for wealth and success? You might ask, why does this matter for success? Because wealth and achievement are built on decisions, and decisions are ruined by emotions out of control. The investor who panics sells at a loss. The entrepreneur who lashes out destroys partnerships. The individual who gives up in fear never sees the breakthrough, waiting just one step further. Calmness allows you to think clearly when others lose themselves. That clarity is an advantage. And in business, leadership, and life, clarity is currency. The challenge for you for the next week, commit to this practice. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause for 90 seconds. Breathe deeply. Name the emotion. Reset your body. Then ask, what response will serve my long-term vision? Do this enough, and you will develop an automatic response pattern. The storm may come, but you will remain the eye, calm and unshaken. The takeaway emotions are natural. You cannot avoid them, but you can master them. And mastery begins with the reset. The next time anger rises, fear shakes you, or anxiety clouds your mind, don't collapse. Reset. Regain control. And remember, he who controls his emotions controls his destiny. Napoleon Hill's wisdom rings true. Self-mastery is the hardest job you will ever tackle. If you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by self. To stay calm and positive in life, you must first master the art of emotional resetting. Do this, and nothing, no fear, no setback, no storm will ever control you again. Your mind and body are like a battery. Every thought, every conversation, every decision either charges you or drains you. Most people walk around exhausted not because they work too hard, but because they waste energy on things that don't matter. They leak power through worry, gossip, distractions, and negativity. Napoleon Hill taught that successful people guard their energy with the same intensity. A banker guards his vault. Why? Because energy is wealth, and if you waste it, you cannot invest it in your vision. To stay calm and positive, you must master the discipline of energy management. Step 1, conduct an energy audit. Take a sheet of paper. On one side, write down activities, people, and habits that charge you. On the other, write the ones that drain you. Chargers exercise, reading an inspiring book, meaningful conversations, working toward your definite purpose, time in nature, drainers scrolling social media for hours, complaining, being around toxic people, staying up too late, dwelling on the past. This list will shock you because you'll see that much of your exhaustion doesn't come from what you do, but from what you tolerate. The first rule of energy management is simple. Eliminate the drainers, multiply the chargers. Step 2, learn the law of exchange. Every time you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. Most people live in exhaustion because they say yes too freely to commitments they don't care about, to conversations that drain them, to distractions that steal their focus. But here's the truth. Every yes to what doesn't matter is a no to what does. Hill's philosophy reminds us to be intentional. Before you commit your energy, ask, does this align with my purpose? Will this investment of energy move me closer to the life I desire? If not, learn to say no. Protecting your time and attention is not selfish. It is necessary for greatness. Step 3, recharge before you're empty. Most people wait until they're burned out to rest. But wise people recharge before they hit zero, just like you don't wait for your car to run out of gas on the highway. You shouldn't wait for a breakdown before refueling yourself. This means building small, intentional habits into your day. Take a 5-minute walk between tasks. Stretch or breathe deeply after intense work. Keep a journal to release mental clutter. Schedule time for hobbies that bring joy. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities. Without them, your energy leaks faster than you can refill it. Step 4, the mental energy drive aim. Negative thinking is the fastest way to drain your mental battery. Worry, anger, resentment, jealousy. Each of these consumes more energy than physical labor. That's why people can feel exhausted even after sitting all day. The solution: guard your mind like a fortress. Refuse to dwell on what you cannot change. Refuse to indulge in gossip or complaints. Replace every negative thought with a question: what action can I take right now? When you train your mind to seek solutions instead of problems, you conserve enormous energy and redirect it into productivity and positivity. Example: the entrepreneur who burned out. Consider an entrepreneur who worked 14-hour days chasing success, On the outside, he looked relentless, but inside, he was exhausted, his mind was scattered, his decisions sloppy. He poured energy into small fires instead of his bigger vision. When he finally collapsed, he realized something shocking. He wasn't burned out because he worked too hard. He was burned out because he spent his energy in the wrong places. Once he began auditing his commitments, setting boundaries, and focusing on his definite purpose, his energy returned. He became unstoppable, not because he worked more, but because he worked right. Step 5, physical energy as a foundation. Never forget, your body is the engine of your mind. If the engine fails, the vision fails. That's why sleep, nutrition, hydration, and movement are non-negotiable. Without enough rest, even small problems feel overwhelming. Without proper nutrition, your brain cannot think clearly. Without exercise, stress builds in your body and leaks into your thoughts. Calmness and positivity are not just mental, they are physical. Treat your body with discipline, and it will fuel your success. Neglect it, and even the strongest mindset will eventually collapse. Step 6, align energy with purpose. The most powerful source of sustainable energy is living with a clear purpose. Have you noticed how tired you feel doing meaningless tasks? But how alive you feel when working on something you deeply care about. Purpose is the ultimate energy source. It gives you endurance when others quit, clarity when others panic, resilience when others collapse. When you align your daily actions with your definite chief aim, you tap into a well of energy that never runs dry. The challenge for you for the next 48 hours. Track your energy. Every activity, every interaction, ask yourself, did this charge me or drain me? At the end of the day, review your list. Then eliminate one drainer and double down on one charger. This simple shift will multiply your energy and transform how you feel. The takeaway: calmness and positivity are not accidents. They are the results of wise energy management. When you stop pouring power into what drains you and instead channel it into what fuels you, your life changes. Napoleon Hill's timeless principle rings clear. The person who cannot control their energy cannot control their destiny. Guard your energy. Direct it with intention. And watch how your calmness deepens, your positivity strengthens, and your success accelerates. One of the greatest enemies of calmness and positivity is monotony. Doing the same thing day after day, walking the same path, speaking to the same people, repeating the same routine until your mind becomes dull, your spirit heavy, and your energy drained. Napoleon Hill warned that stagnation is death to the mind. When you stop growing, stop exploring, stop seeking newness, you invite boredom, negativity, and frustration into your life. But here is the secret. You don't need to climb Mount Everest or travel across the world to awaken your spirit. You only need micro-adventures, small, intentional breaks from routine that reignite your sense of wonder and keep your mind alive. What are micro-adventures? A micro-adventure is not about scale, it's about perspective. It's any activity, however small, that breaks the autopilot of your daily life and injects freshness into your mind. Taking a new route home, watching the sunrise from a place you've never stood before, exploring a cafe you've always walked past but never entered, cooking a dish from a culture you know nothing about. These simple acts carry enormous power because they shake you out of routine. They remind you that life is not a script to repeat. It's an adventure to experience nature as your teacher. You don't need a plane ticket to find beauty. Step outside and look at the sky at dawn or dusk. Walk barefoot on grass. Take a short hike, even if it's just in a nearby park. Nature is one of the greatest sources of calmness. It grounds you. It quiets your thoughts. It restores your energy. Hill himself often reminded his students to go back to the basics of nature when the mind grew restless, when life feels overwhelming. Sometimes the best reset is not in another screen, but in the silence of the wind, the colors of a sunset, or the rhythm of flowing water. Adventure through the senses. Micro-adventures can also be sensory. Try a new cuisine. Pick up a fruit you've never tasted before. Experiment with a recipe that feels intimidating. Food is not just nourishment, it's an adventure of the senses. Every flavor awakens curiosity, creativity, and gratitude for the richness of life. Something as simple as cooking a new dish with your family can transform an ordinary evening into a memory. Social micro-adventures. One of the simplest yet most powerful micro-adventures is connecting with someone new or reconnecting with someone old. Start a conversation with a stranger. Call a friend you haven't spoken to in years. Attend a local event, workshop, or class. Just to explore. Each connection carries the potential to shift your life. Many of the greatest opportunities in history came not from planned strategies, but from unexpected encounters. But they only happen to those willing to step outside their bubble. Challenge yourself to break routine. Here's the truth. Comfort zones kill positivity. They lull you into a false sense of safety. But underneath, they drain your enthusiasm for life. To fight back, create small challenges. Spend a day exploring your city like a tourist. Take photos of 5 things you've never noticed before. Dedicate one evening each week to trying something new. These micro-adventures don't just refresh your spirit, they build resilience. They train your brain to adapt, to explore, to stay curious. And a curious mind is a positive, growing mind. The psychology of micro-adventures. Why are these small adventures so powerful? Because they reset your brain. When you break routine, your brain produces dopamine, the chemical of motivation and joy. You feel more alive, more creative, more positive. This is why people return from vacations with fresh energy. It's not the location, it's the novelty. Micro-adventures give you this same effect, but daily, without waiting for someday. Real-life example, the burned-out worker. Imagine someone who works 9 to 5, goes home, eats, watches television, and sleeps overtime. They feel drained, uninspired, stuck. Then one day, they decide to break the pattern. They take a new route home and discover a small park they never noticed. The next week, they sign up for a weekend pottery class. Soon, they're meeting new people, laughing, exploring. Their job hasn't changed. Their responsibilities haven't changed. But their spirit has awakened because they chose micro-adventures. The 7-day micro-adventure challenge. Try this for the next 7 days. Commit to 1 micro-adventure per day. It doesn't have to be big. It could be walking a different route, trying a new food, visiting a place you've never entered before, talking to someone new, watching the stars for 10 minutes. Notice how quickly your energy shifts. Notice how your calmness deepens. Notice how positivity becomes easier when life feels fresh again. The takeaway calmness and positivity are not about locking yourself in routine and waiting for happiness to arrive. They are about actively choosing to live with curiosity and wonder. Napoleon Hill's wisdom reminds us that a stagnant mind cannot produce greatness, but a fresh mind, a mind sparked daily by new experiences, remains sharp, alive, and magnetic. Micro-adventures are proof that you don't need to wait for someday. You don't need money, status, or grand plans to feel alive. You only need the courage to step off autopilot, to say, today, I choose to see life differently. Because when you do, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, and positivity becomes not just a choice, but your natural way of life. The most powerful voice in your life is not the voice of critics, not the voice of family, not even the voice of mentors. It is the voice inside your own head, the one that speaks to you in the quiet moments, the one that whispers when you fail, the one that shouts when you doubt yourself. Napoleon Hill said it best: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But here is the hidden part. Your inner dialogue determines whether you conceive possibilities or bury them under fear. If your self-talk is negative, self-defeating, and destructive, you become your own worst enemy. But if your self-talk is empowering, disciplined, and full of faith, you become unstoppable. Your destiny is not written in circumstances. It is written in your inner narrative. And the good news is you can rewrite it. The inner enemy versus the inner ally. Most people live with an inner critic that constantly tears them down. It says, you're not good enough. You'll never succeed. Why even try? Every time they believe this voice, they weaken their confidence and sabotage their potential. But those who succeed transform this inner critic into an inner ally. Their inner voice encourages, corrects, and strengthens them. It says, you are capable. You have failed before, and you got back up. You can do it again. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Your breakthrough is coming. The question is, which voice will you allow to dominate? Step 1, awareness. Catch the script before you can rewrite your narrative. You must recognize it. For 1 week, pay close attention to your inner dialogue. Write it down when possible. Ask yourself, what do I say to myself when I fail, when I wake up, when I look in the mirror, when I face challenges? You'll be surprised at how often you are crueler to yourself than you would ever be to a friend. This awareness is the first step to transformation. Step 2, reframe the story. Once you've caught your negative scripts, challenge them. Ask, is this absolutely true, or is this a distorted thought? For example, instead of I always mess things up, reframe it to, sometimes I fail, but every failure teaches me and sharpens me. Instead of I'll never be wealthy, reframe it to, I am learning the disciplines of wealth every day, and I will continue until I master them. The goal is not blind positivity, but constructive truth. Replace self-sabotage with self-encouragement rooted in progress and persistence. Step 3, use the power of auto-suggestion. Napoleon Hill emphasized the power of auto-suggestion, feeding your subconscious mind with the right words until they become your identity. Write down affirmations that reflect the person you want to become. Repeat them daily with emotion and belief. I am disciplined and focused. I am worthy of success and peace. Every challenge is shaping me into someone stronger. At first, it may feel unnatural, but repetition carves grooves in your mind. Over time, your subconscious accepts these new truths and begins to act in harmony with them. Step 4, script your future self. Here is a powerful exercise. Write a letter from your future self to your present self. Imagine the person you want to be 5 years from now. Calm, successful, positive, in control. What would that version of you say? Perhaps don't give up. You are closer than you think. Every sacrifice you are making is worth it. I am living the life you dreamed of. Because you chose persistence. Reading this letter often will remind you of the path you are on and strengthen your self-talk. Step 5, surround yourself with positive inputs. Your inner dialogue is influenced by your environment. If you constantly consume negativity news, gossip, criticism, you will speak negativity to yourself. But if you feed your mind with inspiration, uplifting books, empowering mentors, supportive friends, your self-talk transforms naturally. Hill often stressed the importance of a mastermind group, surrounding yourself with people who raise your standards. The voices you allow around you will eventually shape the voice inside you. Real-life example, the athlete who reprogrammed his mind. A struggling athlete once said after constant failure, "I'm just not talented enough." This belief crippled his performance. His coach challenged him to rewrite his script. Every morning, he repeated, "I am disciplined. I am improving daily. I can outwork anyone." Within months, his mindset shifted. He trained harder, played with confidence, and eventually rose to the top of his field. Nothing magical happened except he changed the story he told himself. The challenge for you for the next 7 days. Commit to this one. Write down every negative self-talk statement you notice. 2, reframe it into a constructive version. 3, replace it with a daily affirmation. Speak these affirmations out loud with energy. Not once, not twice, but every day until your subconscious begins to believe. The takeaway: the greatest battles you will ever fight are not in the marketplace, the boardroom, or the battlefield. They are in your own mind. If your inner voice is against you, no outside victory will ever feel complete. But if your inner voice is for you, believing, encouraging, pushing you, become unstoppable. Napoleon Hill said, "You are what you think about all day long." If that is true, then guard your thoughts as if your life depends on it, because it does. Rewrite your inner narrative. Turn self-doubt into self-belief. And remember, the most powerful ally you can ever create is the voice inside your own head. Life today feels like a storm. Demands, deadlines, otherwise, and negativity pull you in 100 directions at once. One moment you're centered, the next you're swept into chaos. Most people live this way every day, reactive, anxious, unfocused. But successful people know a secret. They build an anchor ritual, a small, daily practice that grounds them like a lighthouse in the middle of the storm, guiding them back to calmness and clarity, no matter how rough the waves. Napoleon Hill taught that success is never random. It comes from daily disciplines, repeated consistently, until they reprogram your subconscious mind. An anchor ritual is one of the most powerful disciplines you can create. What is an anchor ritual? An anchor ritual is a simple practice you perform every day at the same time, in the same way, to anchor your mind in peace and positivity. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be 10 minutes of meditation, journaling your intentions every morning, a gratitude list before bed, a mindful walk after lunch. The power is not in the size of the ritual. The power is in the consistency by showing up every day, and you train your nervous system to associate this practice with calmness, focus, and clarity. Step 1, begin the day with intention. Most people start the day by checking their phone, scrolling through messages, reacting to the world before they've even decided who they want to be. That is why they stay anxious all day. Their minds never had a chance to anchor. Instead, create a morning ritual that sets the tone before the noise of the world enters. Decide, who am I going to be today? What energy will I carry? What one action will move me closer to my definite purpose? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Feel it as though it is already real. In that moment, you are no longer a prisoner of chaos. You are the master of your day. Step 2, close the day with reflection. The day's storms can leave your mind cluttered with stress, unfinished tasks, and unresolved emotions. If you don't reset before bed, you carry that weight into tomorrow. A simple evening ritual can change everything. Ask yourself 3 questions. 1, what went well today? 2, what could I improve? 3, what am I grateful for? This practice clears the mind, closes the day with positivity, and teaches your subconscious to search for solutions while you sleep. Step 3, pair street illness with gratitude calmness. Grows when paired with gratitude. Try this. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and focus on 3 things you're grateful for. Don't just list them, feel them. See them? Allow gratitude to wash over you. This one practice lowers stress, rewires your brain toward positivity, and reminds you that even in chaos, you are blessed. Example, the busy executive who found calm. A high-powered executive once confessed that despite his success, he lived in constant anxiety. Meetings, emails, deadlines. His mind never stopped racing. His mentor suggested a simple ritual every morning before touching his phone. Write down his top 3 intentions for the day and spend 5 minutes in silence. At first, he resisted. It seemed too simple. But within weeks, he noticed a profound shift. He felt calmer, more in control, more positive. His ritual became his anchor. And from that anchor, his leadership and creativity soared. Step 4, make it personal. Your ritual doesn't have to look like anyone else's. The key is to choose something meaningful to you. If movement grounds you, make yoga, stretching, or walking your anchor. If words inspire you, make journaling or affirmations your anchor. If silence restores you, make meditation or breathing your anchor. What matters most is that it feels like a sanctuary, something you look forward to, something that centers you. Step 5, consistency creates power. Doing it once changes nothing. Doing it daily changes everything. Over time, your ritual becomes automatic, a habit so ingrained that your mind enters calmness as naturally as breathing. This is why monks pray daily, why athletes warm up daily, why successful leaders journal daily. Rituals shape identity, and identity shapes destiny. The challenge for you today: design your anchor ritual. Keep it simple. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. Commit to it for 21 days, morning or evening. Same time, same place. Notice how your days shift. Notice how your calmness grows. Notice how your positivity strengthens. This is not coincidence, it is reprogramming. The takeaway: life storms are inevitable. But you don't have to be tossed around like a ship without a compass. You can create an anchor, a ritual that grounds you, calms you, and restores your power every single day. Napoleon Hill's philosophy reminds us, discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. Your anchor ritual is that bridge. So build it, guard it, practice it daily, and let it become your compass pointing you always back to peace, to positivity, and to the best version of yourself. Life will test you. It will break your plans, delay your goals, and sometimes knock you to your knees. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise higher is not luck, money, or talent. It is resilience. Resilience is the inner muscle that allows you to bend without breaking, to stumble without quitting, and to face storms with the certainty that this too shall pass. Napoleon Hill often reminded his students, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Resilience is what allows you to find that seed. Why resilience matters. Most people think calmness means avoiding hardship. But true calmness is not the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to stand tall in the middle of it. Without resilience, every setback feels final. A rejection becomes proof of inadequacy. A failure becomes a permanent label. A delay feels like a dead end. But with resilience, you see challenges as stepping stones. You understand that setbacks are temporary and that each obstacle carries a lesson to strengthen you. Resilience is the foundation of lasting positivity because it keeps your hope alive even when circumstances look dark. Step 1, reframe the narrative. The first step to resilience is perspective. When adversity strikes, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this here to teach me?" For example, losing a job might be an invitation to pursue a new path. A rejection could be the redirection you needed. A failure could be the feedback necessary for your next success. This shift doesn't remove the pain, but it transforms the meaning. And meaning is what fuels resilience. Step 2, develop emotional flexibility. Rigid trees snap in the storm. Flexible ones bend and survive. Your mind works the same way. Emotional flexibility means accepting reality as it is instead of resisting it. It means being able to adapt, adjust, and pivot when circumstances demand it. One way to build this flexibility is through mindfulness. When you sit quietly and observe your thoughts without judgment, you learn that emotions are like passing clouds, not permanent, not defining who-ba. This awareness prevents you from being consumed by fear or despair when challenges come. Step 3, strengthen through small street ruggles. Resilience is like a muscle. It grows when you use it. Start by embracing small challenges intentionally. Wake up earlier than usual. Take cold showers. Learn a skill that intimidates you. Face a conversation you've been avoiding. These micro struggles build your tolerance for discomfort. And when life throws bigger challenges your way, you're ready. Step 4, lean on your support system. Resilience doesn't mean isolation. In fact, resilient people know how to seek support. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your strength, who believe in your potential, and who hold you accountable to your higher self. Hill called this the mastermind principle, a group of like-minded people working together toward growth. When you share your struggles, you lighten your burden and often gain wisdom you couldn't see on your own. Step 5, create a strength journal. When adversity strikes, doubt creeps in. To combat it, keep a strength journal. Write down your past victories, the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've built, On hard days, revisit this journal. It reminds you I've been through storms before, and I can do it again. This practice builds self-belief, the most crucial ingredient of resilience. Real life. Example, the inventor who failed forward. Think of Thomas Edison. Before inventing the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. When asked how he kept going, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000,000 ways that won't work." That is resilience, not denying failure, but redefining it. Not quitting when others laughed, but persisting until success was inevitable. His story is a reminder that resilience is the difference between quitting at failure number 99 and breaking through at attempt 100. The challenge for you for the next 30 days: practice resilience building habits. 1. When something goes wrong, immediately ask, what's the seed of benefit here? 2. Face one small discomfort each day. Train your resilience muscle. 3. Keep a strengths journal and add at least one entry daily. Do this consistently, and you'll notice your calmness deepening and your positivity growing even in hard times. The takeaway: resilience is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about having the inner strength to endure, adapt, and rise stronger from every challenge. Napoleon Hill taught us that adversity is not our enemy, it is our teacher. Resilience is the ability to sit in the classroom of adversity, learn the lesson, and use it to propel yourself forward. So, when the storms of life come, and they will, don't curse them. Don't run from them. Stand tall. Bend if you must, but never break. Because within every storm lies the seed of your next success, and the stronger your resilience, the more unshakable your calmness and positivity will become. Calmness and positivity are not just inner states, they are forces you radiate into the world. And one of the most powerful ways to amplify them is through kindness. Kindness may seem simple, even ordinary, but in truth, it is one of the most transformative forces in existence. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. Napoleon Hill reminded us that what you give always returns multiplied. Kindness is not just charity, it is a form of wealth, an investment in human connection that compounds over time. The science of ripples. Imagine tossing a single stone into a still pond. The circles expand outward, touching every part of the water. That is what kindness does. A smile, a word of encouragement. It's a helping hand. These seem small in the moment, but they can spark chains of positivity that impact countless lives. Think of the person who holds the door open for a stranger. That small gesture brightens someone's mood, who then speaks more kindly to their coworker, who then treats a customer with warmth, who then goes home and hugs their child tighter. That one door hold just created a ripple of calm and joy across multiple lives. The truth is, kindness multiplies. You may never see how far your ripple travels, but it always travels. Step 1, begin with micro-kindness. You don't need grand gestures to make an impact. Start with small acts you can weave into your daily life. Smile at a stranger. Offer a genuine compliment. Thank someone sincerely. Listen without interrupting. These may seem insignificant, but they plant seeds of positivity that often bloom in ways you'll never know. Step 2, practice intentional gratitude for others. Kindness becomes even more powerful when it's paired with gratitude. Take a moment each day to acknowledge someone who has made a difference in your life, no matter how small. Send them a text, write a note, or simply say, "I appreciate you," Gratitude strengthens bonds and encourages others to keep spreading positivity. It reminds both you and them that goodness still exists, even in a chaotic world. Step 3. Forgiveness as a form of kindness. One of the most overlooked acts of kindness is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges weighs you down and poisons your peace. Letting go, releasing bitterness and resentment is an act of kindness to others, but also to yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing wrong behavior. It means freeing yourself from the prison of anger so you can move forward lighter and calmer. That release creates an inner positivity that radiates outward. Step 4. Be kind to yourself often. People are kinder to strangers than they are to themselves. They forgive others but never forgive their own mistakes. They encourage others but constantly criticize their own progress. But your inner dialogue is the first ripple you send into the world. Treat yourself with compassion. Celebrate small wins. And talk to yourself the way you would talk to a dear friend. Self-kindness strengthens your confidence and makes it easier to extend kindness outward. Real-life example, the cafe ripple. There's a story of a man who, on a cold morning, bought coffee not just for himself, but also for the person behind him in line. That stranger, surprised and uplifted, decided to pay for the next person. Within an hour, more than 20 customers had bought coffee for one another. One small act triggered an entire wave of generosity. That is the ripple effect in action, proof that your kindness is never wasted. The challenge for you for the next 7 days. Commit to one act of kindness each day. It doesn't have to be big. Choose something simple. Call a friend. Share encouragement online. Help a colleague. Or give to someone in need. At the end of each day, reflect, what ripple might I have created today, even if you never see it? Trust that it exists. The takeaway: kindness is not weakness, it is strength. It takes courage to respond to negativity with love, to lift others when you yourself feel heavy, to see humanity where others see division. Napoleon Hill taught that wealth is more than money. It is relationships, harmony, and service to others. When you practice kindness, you are building true wealth. Wealth of spirit, wealth of connection, wealth of purpose. So choose kindness daily, because when you do, you're not just calming your own storms, you're calming the storms of others. And together, those ripples of positivity can transform the world. One of the greatest causes of stress and unhappiness is the inability to let go. We cling to mistakes we made years ago, to relationships that no longer serve us, to expectations that were never realistic, and to outcomes that never came. This constant holding on weighs us down like carrying a heavy bag everywhere we go. Napoleon Hill reminded us, you can't enter a new life if your hands are still full of the old. The art of letting go is not weakness, it is freedom. It is not giving up, it is choosing peace over struggle, clarity over confusion, and growth over stagnation. Why we hold on? We hold on because we think control equals safety. We believe that if we replay the past often enough, maybe we'll change it. Or if we grip tightly to a certain outcome, maybe we can force it to happen. But this is an illusion. The past cannot be changed. The future cannot be controlled, and the tighter we cling, the more anxiety we create. Calmness comes not from grasping, but from releasing. Step 1, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means facing reality exactly as it is, without denial, excuses, or resistance. Instead of saying, "This shouldn't have happened," you say, "It did happen, and I will find a way forward This doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It means you refuse to waste your energy fighting against something you cannot change. Acceptance frees your mind to focus on what is possible now. Step 2, the release ritual. Here is a powerful exercise. 1, write down everything you're holding on to: resentments, regrets, disappointments, fears. 2, read the list out loud, acknowledging the weight you've been carrying. 3, then destroy the paper. Tear it, burn it safely, or shred it as a symbolic act of release. This ritual signals to your subconscious mind, I choose to set this down. I am ready to move forward lighter. Step 3, detach from outcomes. Most stress comes from attaching happiness to specific outcomes: getting the promotion, winning someone's approval, hitting a financial milestone. While goals are vital, tying your peace to outcomes makes you a prisoner of circumstances. Instead, focus on effort and intention. Say to yourself, I cannot control results, but I can control my actions, my attitude, my persistence. When you release the obsession with outcome, you regain your calmness and power. Step 4, forgiveness, a higher form of letting go. Forgiveness is one of the hardest but most liberating practices of letting go. When you refuse to forgive, you chain yourself to the past. Forgiveness does not mean saying what happened was okay. It means you are no longer willing to carry the poison of resentment. It is a gift you give yourself. As Hill taught, a man is not free until he learns to forgive. Start small. Forgive yourself for mistakes you made in ignorance. Forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Step 5, release perfectionism. Many of us carry an invisible weight, the need to be perfect, to say the right thing every time, to make no mistakes, to always succeed. This obsession creates constant tension. Letting go of perfectionism means embracing your humanity. It means understanding that mistakes are not evidence of failure, they are stepping stones of growth. When you release the impossible standard of perfection, you find calmness in progress and positivity in learning. Real-life example, the entrepreneur who let go. A young entrepreneur once lost everything in his first business venture. For months, he obsessed over his mistakes, replaying them in his mind, drowning in regret. Then his mentor told him, you cannot drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. Let go, or the past will run your future. He finally released the shame, reframed the lessons, and started again. Within years, he built a thriving company stronger because he had let go of the weight that once held him back. The challenge for you: take 15 minutes today to ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is weighing me down? What would happen if I released it? What freedom would I gain? Write your answers. Then commit to one symbolic act of release, big or small. The takeaway: letting go is not about giving up. It is about choosing freedom. It is about releasing the illusions of control, the burdens of the past, and the fear of the future. Napoleon Hill taught us that success requires a clear mind and a light spirit. You cannot climb if you are dragging chains, so release the baggage, forgive what hurts you, detach from outcomes, let go of perfection, and watch how much lighter, calmer, and more positive your life becomes, because in the end, letting go is not losing, it is gaining. It is gaining clarity, peace, and the space for new blessings to enter your life. You've just walked through 10 powerful keys that can help you rise above chaos, take control of your inner world, and shine with calmness and positivity no matter what life throws at you. But remember, knowledge without action changes nothing. The real transformation begins when you put these lessons into practice. Start today. Choose gratitude over complaint. Choose patience over frustration. Choose calmness over chaos, because every choice is a brick you lay on the foundation of the life you're building. Never forget, the strongest people are not those who never face storms, but those who learn to dance in the rain, who turn obstacles into stepping stones, and who decide every single day that their peace of mind is non-negotiable. Now, if this message sparked something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button. Go share this video with someone who needs encouragement today.